Scorpio. Welcome to the Divine Dojo. My name is Gabriella, and I am here to do your reading for the month of May. I didn't pull any aspects for the month of May because when I do the weeklies, that's usually when I like to give the transits and aspects that are going on in the astrology. So we're just gonna raw dog it. Anyhow, don't mind me. I am silly, and Lilith is in Scorpio, so there we go. Anyhow, let me start by clearing the energy. I'm so happy to have you here, and I'll clear the energy with a couple of rings of the tuning fork, and then we'll dive in. And if you hear some barking, I have 2 dogs in my house today, so gotta love them. They just ate dinner and are happy, but you know, you never know what's going on. We have a ton of neighbors that come and have other dogs as well, so sometimes they go crazy. So yeah, so welcome to May. Rabbit, you know, and it's also Beltane. I love saying rabbit in the beginning of the month. Sorry, I had to take a sip. It's Beltane, so happy Beltane. Let's get started. I'm excited. I think I'm gonna do, I was gonna do the Celtic Cross, but I'm not feeling it right now, so let's just pull some tarot and start building a story. Actually, in fact, I want to pull an opening card from Kim Kranz's Archetypes deck, which I love. She's so brilliant in how she made this deck. So beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. So you did get 3 cards. You have Eros, and I love like the diamond, and it looks like in between the lips. Perfect for Lilith and Scorpio. And then also the earthly pleasures of Taurus. Very sensual and sexy. Eros to me is just that you know, the diamond. I love that it's like the diamond of the self. I don't know if you know Gene Keys, but actually that's one of my cities, or one of my Gene Keys is Diamond of the Self, and that makes me think of this. It's like when we shine within, especially Scorpios, we magnetize, right? That's how we either magnetize or repel. That's the story of our lives. So when we shine like this is just when we're so super magnetic and have that sexy scorpionic energy that people just can't resist, or again, you know, a lot of times we repel. So especially if you're that type of Scorpio that has that leaky Shakti sexual energy, definitely work on not being a leaky sexual Scorpio. I know that I have been there in the past. When I was younger, I had that leaky kind of energy, you know, and I think that's where like jealousy came from other people, because I wasn't, you know, maintaining my own power to myself. Instead, I was like, you know, leaking it out to other people, and not on purpose either, you know. So a lot of us don't even know we're doing it, and we're doing it. So, and speaking of the body and the temple, so the temple came out, the card. And this is beautiful. I love it. To me, this is always the temple within, and and in the temple is the connection to spirit. You know how, and it also reminds me a little bit of like, I love the greens, you know, because the temple within to me is like connecting to the heart chakra. So this month, definitely, it's a lot about opening the heart, and I can relate to that. Opening the heart and not being so guarded, you know, because as Scorpios, we tend to guard and not trust. We're notorious for not trusting. And so this to me is a lot having to do with the heart chakra and opening ourselves up to the beautiful possibilities that May has in store for us. So I love that. And, you know, shining that beautiful light and diamond within. Yeah, and then we have the healer. Here we are. Scorpios are usually a natural healer, you know, because we have, and this is not for everyone, right? Not everybody has to be a healer. You can be an artist, you can be, you know, you can be as whatever. But when you're dealt a hard life of constantly transforming and changing and, you know, and having deaths and rebirths and all of that, you tend to be this for other people, right? Because you learn how to heal yourself through the hardships and the trials and tribulations that Scorpios are just, you know, born to go through. So I love this, and I'll see which one I'm calling is calling me to be read. I think I'm looking at the healer, but you know, we'll see as the reading goes on which one. They'll probably all relate, but which one is calling to us more to be read. So let's start with the tarot. I hope you guys are doing well. May 1st, craziness. I can't believe it. Dear Spirit, give me the wisdom and clarity to give the Scorpio collective a nice, clear, and succinct message. Okay, let's start with those. So this. Oh shit! Nice. Well, it is what it is. So, to start off, we have the Justice card. And I don't know if some of you are, you know, this has to deal with, you know, truth, things coming to a balance if they haven't been balanced, something, a wrong being righted, I should say. Yeah, and law, maybe you're dealing with some law stuff, maybe some I know I'm dealing with some law stuff, so this definitely applies to me. And then after that, the 10 of Wands reversed, which means, you know, the hardship is over. You know, we're done carrying all the burden, or you are carrying the burden, but hopefully, you know, you're able to stop carrying all the burden and maybe try delegating because what we want is this one upright, because that means it's, you know, it's almost done. We're done with this burden or thing or whatever that's happening. You know, we're almost finished with it. But when it's reversed, it's like you're still not done carrying this burden or this heavy load, and you need to get help with it. Is what's coming to me. Getting some help with it in whatever way you can, by either delegating or, you know, seeking counsel if this has to do with something that is pertaining to law. After that, we have the Fool, which I love. It is upside down or reversed. And so this to me is like, this isn't a month or yeah, it's definitely not a month to hold back and stop dimming that beautiful diamond and the light, and, you know, and go in and somehow ignite the spark so you can, you know, have a good heart space. I have to start this again. I don't know why I'm having like trouble breathing. No, I'm not going to stop it, but I'm just like I am having like heart, like a hard time expressing myself right now. So, and then like there's a heaviness in my chest. So maybe you're having a hard time letting go of, getting into this full energy of taking the leap and taking a new step into a brand new direction, and letting go of your burdens maybe from the past. After that, we have the three, it's so interesting how that all correlates. Then we have the Three of Pentacles, and this is reversed too, and that means is just, disharmony in relationships or misalignment with yourselves. And this, again, this is, to me, is the same thing like I was saying. Maybe you need to get some help here, because it's you need to collaborate with people and figure out, it's time. I'm sensing that it's time to ask for help for with whatever it is that you're going through, because I felt a heaviness. I couldn't talk. So maybe that's happening to you, and you feel like this heaviness in your chest, but it's time to seek guidance, counseling, help. Look in the internet, chat GPT. You'd be surprised. I'm always queuing or asking it questions, whatever that technological term is, asking it questions and getting answers. And it's interesting that like it really knows, but a lot of things it doesn't know too. So but you'd be surprised that where you can actually, the most random places you'd be able to get help from. Maybe ask ChatGPT, like just throw your questions out to ChatGPT and act like it's a friend and see what it gives back to you. It's very interesting. Yeah, because I feel there's like disharmony, misalignment, and you need help. You need to collaborate. But you have to keep up the courage and be persistent to get through this, so you can have the full upright and take a brand new step towards happiness. I think Scorpios have a hard time just being happy, and like living in happiness, and because we always, it's that distrust, right? So we always feel like there's something going to go wrong at some point, and always relating it to past hurt, past traumas, past whatever, right? Past disappointments. And be happy. This month is the month to be happy, and let go of these old heavy burdens and ask for help, because it's just time to move on and not be so heavy, right? And I love it because then we get the Chariot, and it's just like, yeah, it's time after you kind of seek help, and you're persistent and courageous with being determined as a fixed sign. You're either gonna dig in deeper into the hole of despair, or you're gonna dig deeper to hope and faith. So which one are you gonna dig deep into? And I definitely recommend digging into the hope and faith, because this month is a great month that could possibly change your life. So when you get rid of it and get some help, or collaborate, or ask ChatGPT for questions, and get some movement going, and let go of this burden and lighten this heavy ass load, and seek the help or friendship or guidance from somebody else, then you get some movement, and then you can start moving on, because this is the Six of Swords reverse. This is a great card. It's beautiful. I love that. Once you get some movement and let go of these burdens, you can start moving on and transition into this energy upright. I love that. Because once you do that, look at this. Opportunities, blessings, connections, things will move quickly once you let go of this heaviness that I still feel in my heart. I feel it, and I'm probably talking to myself, so it's resonating, but because it's resonating. Once you let go, there's definitely fast movement, surrender all of this stuff and ask for help and guidance, and then you get some traction and movement. You can move on, and But don't be resistant to change, because otherwise you won't get this fast moving energy and opportunities that are coming your way. Yeah, swift change, you know. A lot of you might be leaving a job, leaving a house, leaving a relationship. Who knows? This doesn't look like a relationship spread. It seems like it's more personal than anything. But let's clarify. What's this Ten of Wands? Can you clarify the Ten of Wands, Spirit? What is this heavy burden about? What is this heavy burden about, Spirit? So Pluto goes Pluto goes retrograde on Sunday. So like I said in the weekly reading, you know, we're ruled by Pluto. So, but it's more of a collective thing than a personal thing. But for us, it's always, you know, underlying because we are ruled by it. So you got the Lovers. I asked Spirit to clarify why we have this, you know, what's so heavy in our hearts, and we got the Lovers. It was reversed though, so maybe it's about, to me, the Lovers is about, it can be about self-love, a choice that needs to be made too. Yeah, you having like disharmony and imbalance. You know, this one is the opposite of the devil. You have like the angel, and then they're there naked, you know, bare naked, showing themselves, you know, to each other, vulnerable. Whereas the opposite is the devil, where they're both in chains, and you know the devil is there. So definitely for me, this is like maybe some suffering that, again, yeah, which is true. Like, what is it that is having you suffer? Is it love? Is it, you know, a lack of self-love? A lot of times Scorpios tend to beat themselves up really bad and have negative self-talk. So if that's what you're doing, please love yourself. You're so special and a miracle. You don't even know. And it's just such a... it's a beautiful life, even though it's chaotic out in the world. It's beautiful. It's absolutely beautiful. So remember how beautiful you are and how special you are, and you are needed here on this planet. So let's clarify. Let's keep going. I want a couple more clarifications. Why is the Three of Pentacles? What can't Scorpio let go of? Yeah, to me, it's like it's time to go within. I think it's a self-love thing. I don't think it's a relationship, but I could be wrong. I think it's time to rest, go within this month, take it slow and steady. Again, we are in Taurus season. Eventually, it will turn into Gemini, but it's time to, and by what I mean rest, it's not like you're lazying around all day, because no, this is not a time to rest, but it's a time to go and implement and get after your dreams, but to have balance within whatever it is you're doing. So, solitude. Maybe you need to collaborate. You need to collaborate. You need help. You don't want to be in a solitude. I think it's just a thing of balance, getting some rest and relaxation. Maybe all of this burden has taken a toll, and it's time to be like the Fool and have a little bit more fun. You know, put the work in, because the energies are perfect this month, but get the proper rest when needed, right? Thank you. Thank you, Spirit. So, yeah. And here we are. Yeah, you're having a difficult time deciding. This is upright. The Two of Wands upright, Libra energy. A lot of Libra energy, Sag energy. What do we have here? We have Sag energy, Capricorn energy, Libra, Cancer, a lot of Sag, Gemini with the Lovers, and then 2 Scorpio cards in a row. Yeah, Libra, Libra, and then Sag, interesting. Libra, Sag. Yeah, so maybe there's something in the fall. Maybe something is going to be coming in, and you know, in this is August, but you know, like to me, it's like interesting that it's all Libra and Sag for the most part, except for Gemini and Cancer. Yeah, so you have there's a decision that you have to make, or you're having a difficult decision, you know, or maybe you're avoiding something, or you're trying not to look at something that needs to. And to me, I keep looking over here, and it keeps going back to the Lovers and like self-love, and it's more having to do with the self, which is interesting, because then after that we have the Scorpio card, the 6 of Cups, which is like nostalgia, old memories, reminiscing, childhood memories, innocence, joy. Yeah. So maybe you're having a difficult decision because you're looking into the past and thinking of like these happy memories, or you know, or of your past life, of how it was. But you know, whatever has happened. There's no point in, you know, holding on to these like heavy burdens and things. I mean, it's not that heavy. I mean, it's a lot, but it's not like super heavy, right? Because once we stop doing that, and it's great to be nostalgic and have good memories, but when you do that, what is it associated with pain, or is it associated with happy thoughts? This is what we have to think about, because we can not be talking to people or miss people and still love them, right? And not think of them, you know, with negative thoughts, and think of them with happy thoughts, happy memories, even though I'm sure, you know, a lot of us had bad memories with the people. But it's about changing how we look at our memories and what is associated with thoughts. Are they painful thoughts that you keep ruminating on? Is there any way that you can switch it to have them become like thoughts that you're grateful for whatever that relationship was? However, if it was happy, if it was toxic, whatever it was, how can we switch our mindset, you know, to have this be done with, this like negative energy? Because here we are after, like, you know, thinking about the nostalgia, the happy memories, innocence. Here's the Death card, you know, the card of transformation. And there we are. It's like, it's time for, when something ends, something new begins, right? It's time for a new story this month. And let go of this shit. Let go of this shit. It doesn't matter if you've been stabbed in the back 10, 20, 100 times. Let go of it. Let go of that. You know, Scorpios tend to hold on to fucking memories and like for so long, and the feeling is like, we're so deeply emotional, is that feeling. And how can we detach from that? And yes, maybe it sucked or whatever, we were in a bad relationship, bad friendship, or we lost a family member, or we don't talk to a family member, whatever, right? How can we switch it? And I'm not saying to spiritually bypass, but how can we switch the thoughts to one of gratefulness, that you got to experience those things to bring you to where you are today, and send it love, and send it, you know, send it compassion, send it, you know, send it just like healing and peace, you know, and let it go, because there's no need to hold on to this stuff anymore, you know, because it can't get worse than it's already been, right? So, or I mean, it can, but you're the one who's going to decide whether or not it gets worse or it gets better. So, Scorpios, my darlings. Whew, always so deep. but I think it has definitely, it's more personal. This is a personal evolution that you need to go through here this month and release and let go of a lot of this heavy, because we have 10, and then we have the 9 of wands, you know, and then the 6 of swords, but it's reversed, so that's good. You're moving on. What advice can we give Scorpio for moving on? Hopefully that is helpful, what I said. It's like looking at things from a different perspective and not being stuck in that ruminating, sad memories of like what could have been, you know? So more Sagittarius and Scorpio energy. So we got the King of Wands reverse. And it's like, it says ruthless, impulsiveness, high expectations, haste, unachievable expectations. That's a mindset to me, you know? I think whatever Scorpios put their minds to, whether good or bad, you can achieve it. We can achieve it. The collective can achieve it. So it's just a matter of when you get tired of being tired of this shit, right? Of the heaviness. Because there's beautiful things here, but how can we help Scorpio this month? What is the advice for Scorpio for this month? Spirit, give me some clarity. Thank you. Thank you. 9 of Pentacles is just like putting in the hard work, routine. I think having routine for sure. It's the Knight of Pentacles, excuse me. It's putting in some Aries and Taurus energy, which is we're in. One last card, one final card, please, Spirit. Because I feel there's something missing that I'm not seeing here. There, of course, secrets, right? Of course, it'd be Scorpio not wanting to show what the real situation is here. What is the underlying factor here? What is the real reason? What is going on here? We got the 4 of Pentacles reversed, and then greediness, possessiveness, stinginess, overspending, to me, it's the self-protection. Scorpios need to learn how to trust and not be scared of this, the public recognition, the being seen, right? The self-love and not hiding, you know, the having self-confidence in oneself. Whatever your situation is just having that self-confidence to know that you're worth it, and it's worth, you know, taking a risk to switch the energies and becoming high vibe. And I don't mean like, oh, love and light, you know, that type of shit. No, like really every day talking to yourself and telling yourself you're beautiful, you're handsome, you know, you are here to do something, you're worthy no matter what circumstance you're currently in right now. So especially, I think it's like, this is what I mean. It's more personal, it's internal that the issues are, you know. This is the Leo card. Leo loves to strut their stuff and be seen and has no problem, you know, being in the limelight. I'm not saying that you have to have a channel or but it's time to get out there and celebrate life. Life is beautiful. I think I'm gonna read the healer for us. All right, so yeah, this is definitely about the self. This is definitely about the self. I'm gonna pull a, you know what? I'm gonna go, I feel like a Light Seers Tarot might help us a little bit better, because this one, it's not giving me what I want. Thank you, Spirit. Please give me clarity on what the underlying issue is. I think it's having to do with the self-confidence, putting yourself out there, getting back out there. If you're, you know, gone through a breakup, I mean, I don't see any of that type of stuff here. Like super relationship stuff, but you know, it's a collective Scorpio reading, so it's going to be different for everyone what each individual is, you know, going through, or, you know, is suffering through, I should say, or is having issues with. Spirit, what is the underlying issue here? What is really going on here for Scorpio in May? Too many. My hands, this deck always. Too many choices. Too many things happening. 7 of Cups. Too many things, too many ideas, not settling on a direction, not focusing. Give me clarity on the 7 of Cups. Thank you. The Empress. Interesting. The Empress, this is what I mean. The Empress knows what she wants, doesn't mind, you know, sitting on her throne, you know, watching over her kingdom and being in her or his power. You know, it's not gender specific, but the energy of the Empress, right? Yeah, it's something having to do with not being seen, not being and not shining your light and being that beautiful self, you know, the diamond of the self, basically. All right, I'm moving on from that. I think I pretty much got it. It just, to me, it's like not being in your power. It's time to get your mojo back, Scorpio. Let's get your mojo back somehow, whatever that means for you. Let's get a Wisdom of the Oracle card. Please give me one message for Scorpio. Thank you. Round and round, round and round you go. Oh, Scorpio, this is, yeah. And I love how it ends in like the third eye kind of area, the spiral, right? Is there something biting me? I swear. Sorry. I love how it ends at the third eye, right? This looks like a beautiful shell, and then it just ends. There's a little face there, and it ends at the third eye. So we'll read round and round again. I think, yeah, there's something that you're just like in your head about, that you're not getting out, and you're not being seen, and or you're not getting help with, and so you're just kind of stuck, right? And this is not the month to not do anything about it. You need to do something about it, because these energies that we have going on are not going to last long. We have until probably July, and then it goes, you know, in terms of planetary alignments. It just goes downhill. I'm going to pull an Akashic Records Oracle card. Thank you. Have faith, Scorpio. It says, it's not always easy to have faith and trust that everything is going to be okay. Yeah, it will. It will. You have the Fool. You have Justice here. You have yourself. You know, it's just a matter of changing and transforming into, you know, making some different choices maybe. Yet still, it says, it's not always easy to have faith and trust that everything is going to be okay. Yet still, you must do exactly that, because when you have faith, your life will begin to flow in magical ways that you never imagined were possible. So definitely, this month is a month of change. you know, and you have to be okay with change. I know fixed energy has a hard time with change, but it's time. It's time to change it up. Let me pull an angel number, and I think I'm going to read the arrows card because I think that's what you need. You need some juice. One angel card for yeah, maybe you've kind of not given up, but because I don't feel that here. But you're exhausted maybe, right? We're all exhausted from these past few months. And it says 444 protection, transformation, courage, alignment, clarity, purpose, strength, and divine love. Prepare for the blessings you've been waiting for. They're on their way. You were born for a higher purpose. Focus your energy on your goals and trust that the universe will align the right people, opportunities, and resources to realize your dream. Yeah, I mean, stop looking, you know, and being nostalgic about the past, or reminiscing, you know, or, you know, being stuck in the familiar. And it's time for change and to let go of these, you know, burdens so you can come into your power here and be this empress and know that the universe has your back, man. The universe is gonna take care of you. And when you make that jump, know that the net is gonna show up to be there, you know, even if you can't see it below, right? Just fucking jump, the net will show up, the net will be there, guaranteed. It always has. So let me read arrows and then we'll call it a day. That's what I have for you, Scorpio. Definitely believe in yourself, man. Believe that you can achieve great and beautiful things for yourself. And, you know, the life that you desire is not far away. But if we're stuck in reminiscing and we're tired, but this is good, you know, this is good to me. This is like persistent. You're not going to give up. Don't give up on yourself. Do not give up on yourself. You know, take some action, do some movement, get some help, and, you know, things will start showing up pretty quickly once you start believing and focusing your attention on exactly what you want. And just that, no distractions, no anything, no reminiscing, you know, on the past. And if you do think of the past, see how you can flip the script and think of it as in a positive and happy way. Yeah, that's what I got. Love it is what I got. I say, remember that. Love it. Where is this shit? Should be here. Lord. Here it is. Arrow. Arrows. Here, what? Try and hold it up for you straight. It says love as desire, eroticism, sensuality. This is, yeah, there's some juice that needs to be brought into your life. And I'm not saying like, you know, go and do whatever you want, but it doesn't necessarily mean sex, right? It says, though arrows can be depicted as unbridled sexuality and eroticism, a more contemplative understanding of this archetypal energy leads us to the root of desire itself. What do we long for? What are we awakened? Why are we awakened by love? What makes us hesitate in the face of intimacy? Eros reconnects us with the primal longing to merge with another human being. Nature, music, art, plants, food, or anything that we perceive we are separate from. Eros allows us to momentarily unite. Our heart embraces otherness, and in doing so, we further understand our own. Our life force awakens. This card reveals an inevitable initiation into love's labyrinth. And love can mean anything, right? Put your love into art, put on some music and love yourself and love your body and dance. It could mean all kinds of things. It's just whatever brings you joy, really, to me. You may find yourself swirling in a new territory of desire and sensuality. Explore the labyrinth with a curious and honest heart. And remember, though the way is circuitous, yes, you are always being led to its center, like circular, I guess. And it says when light, it says passion, playfulness, sexual health. And it says when dark, it says madness, projection, obsession, which Scorpios love to do. And I'll read. Yeah, I'm not gonna read that. Yeah, it's exactly what I thought when I started it. I'm like, it's not about anybody else. It's about you, Scorpio. It's about you and your relationship with yourself and how you can come out of this like heaviness and start looking at things in like a positive, happy, go lucky, innocent type of way, and celebrate yourself. Celebrate yourself, even if it's just like small little wins, like you worked out today. That's a fucking win. You cooked for yourself and didn't go to a restaurant, to spend money and not knowing what's in the food, that's a win. You got, went to nature and just sat or listened to a podcast or read a book, or that's a win. Celebrate yourself in whatever way possible, and those things accumulate into happiness and joy. Is that it? Oh, you know what? I'll get one of those Gabby Bernstein cards and call it a day. So yeah, Scorpio, that's what I have for you guys for May. If you like this reading or it resonates with you, please feel free to comment, like, share, and subscribe. It really helps me out, and I enjoy being with the Scorpios, being one myself. I am the dreamer of my dream. Go and co-create with spirit, man. This month is the month to do it. I love you all so much. Have a wonderful month, and I'll be back to do the weeklies, at some point next. You'll see the weekly at some point next week. So have a wonderful May, and I will see you soon.